Community Preservation Fund requests approved by Town Council. Details on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, March 1st, 2013. I'm Sarah Colvin. Town Council met this Thursday night. 5 requests for community preservation funds took up the bulk of the evening. First up, $32,000 for repairs to recreational fields at 93 West Bay Road in Osterville. Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado describes the current condition of the playground and tennis courts.
The playground is a big toy playground that currently has little to no surface. So if a young person were to fall on that surface, they would be injured. And many of the schools have these. They were put in the 70s, I believe, and these were built for, especially this one was built for the upper age level. The kids that are utilizing this facility now, because there is no school there, are actually preschoolers, so it does not meet the need of the community in any way, shape, or form. Also, as you look at these tires are illegal to even have out there. They don't meet standards because they collect water, and they actually, there are bugs developing, plus on the tops there are hornets' nests, so we have a lot of injuries and things with kids. It's just not a healthy environment. If you look at the swing set, this swing set was actually there from the original building that was built in the 50s, and it doesn't meet the standards at all. There is nothing on the base. If you fall on that swing set or the chain breaks, you will be injured. And these don't meet. Can you imagine a 3-year-old trying to climb that ladder? It's not pretty. It's a nice challenge, but a little much for the young people to have to go through. Next, we are looking at the tennis courts that we have, and this is only one of many that we need to really take some time to revitalize. I mean, those are cracks. Those are things that people can trip in and actually get injured trying to play. And this was one of the most vital tennis courts that we had, utilized constantly. Unfortunately, a lot of the elderly people no longer play there because
that request was approved. Next up, members of the West Parish Memorial Foundation presented plans for historic renovation of the West Parish Meeting House.
Well, this is a picture of the bell wheel and the rusting and rotting metal that is supporting that and is very much in need of replacement. I think the picture of the roof speaks for itself, and that's, you'll have to take our word for what it looks like under the green tarp, but I can assure you it looks like that or worse under the green tarp. So the time has come for us to move forward with this restoration or preservation effort for this valuable treasure of a meeting house that is something that we should treasure as residents of the town of Barnstable, something that we should take great pride in having. And it's a direct connection to the founding of this town. It's a direct connection to the founding of this country. The building continues to serve as a Sunday meeting house for the West Parish of Barnstable, as it has for almost 300 years now. But as you see in the preceding information, why this building had served for many other purposes in the town. The foundation sponsors cultural programs in the building. We've had some wonderful historic talks. James Ellis and others have presented recently on talks of the War of 1812. We have musical programs that are presented there. And this is also what is used as the annual West Barnstable Christmas or holiday celebration in conjunction with the tree lighting on the green. So it's very much a part of the village, but it's a part really of our whole town. And so we look for your support, as the CPC had given their support in the preservation
Council
of this
approved
structure.
the $275,000 Community Preservation Fund request. Next up, the town's accessory affordable apartment program. Director of Growth Management Joanne Miller-Buntage described to the council its basic
Here's
needs.
some photographs, you've probably seen these here before, of accessory affordable apartments, and without the yellow box is how you would see them on the street, and so they are fairly invisible. And the funds that we are requesting this evening will be used to assist property owners with meeting code requirements for the unit. Sometimes that means a septic upgrade, sometimes that means egress, additions of entrances and things of that nature. And the reason that we need these funds, or we're requesting these funds, is because the program, which was originally designed to be funded through the Community Development Block Grant Program, that program has had major funding reductions. Since I've been in this position, it's been reduced by almost 50%. We just received a notice from HUD today that we're being cut another 9% this year. So we have shrinking funds, increasing construction costs, and many homeowners, regardless of credit score or any other requirements, are finding the private lending environment to be more difficult on the mortgage side than it has been in the past. And so what we're asking for is a total of $200,000. The upgrades, the unit upgrades, the money directly going to the units would be $170,000, and $30,000 would be for administration. That administration, again, would be the monitoring, also the initial intake. There's quite a lot of work to do that. It's a program by which staff sits with the applicant and walks them through the process.
That $200,000 request was approved. Newly hired Director of Public Works Dan Santos outlined plans for historic repairs to the school administration building. The project includes slate roof repairs, replacement of copper gutters, exterior door and window replacement, brick repointing, and masonry repairs, very similar to the work that was done here at Town Hall.
This project went out to bid in last fall, and the bids came in, unfortunately, higher than we had estimated. And those estimates had the project at about $1 million, and in total, for the total project, $1 million of CPC funds, about $1.2 million. The total after bids is about $1.5 million, leaving a $300,000 shortfall. Now, I just want to point out that when this project was first bid in October, it came in higher than the estimates. So we took a look at that and decided that how do we get this back to the amount that's been allocated for the project? So that adjustments were made to the project, and it was decided to rebid and go out and see if we could get this back down to the $1.2 million that was available. The second round of bidding resulted in effectively the same number. It was a small reduction from the original bids as a result of the changes, but it still ended up being about $1.5 million total, again, against a $1.2 million available budget, leaving the $300,000 shortfall. The reason for this are several, I think, but primarily there aren't a lot of bidders bidding on this kind of work. We had 2 bidders for this project, and that's not a lot of competition. And this type of work has been affected by the economy over the last 5 years. There are a few bidders available, and there's lots of projects available. Recent storms, hurricanes have created a real need for these materials and these contractors, particularly in the window area where the glazing and the custom windows, the demand for these is very high, so the bids aren't going to be very low.
Santos says crews are ready to go and can start work within a month after the award is made. The request for $200,000 in community preservation funds, as well as a request for $100,000 in general funds, was approved. Town Council also gave the nod to spending $35,000 in CPC funds for affordable housing on Ginger Lane in Centerville, and voted to authorize expenditures in excess of appropriation for storm-related costs. Scheduled public hearings on problem property ordinances were rescheduled until the council's March 21st meeting. A workshop session for councilors is expected to take place on March 14th. You can watch the entire council meeting online at town.barnstable.ma.us. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.